What is up, Beyond the Gates fans? It is Monday, June 9th. Another week of Beyond the Gates has started. And unfortunately, I probably do have to get on here and trash most of the storylines again, much like Friday. I don't think today changed my mind on a lot of the issues I had with Friday's episode. So we might as well just begin with Kat and that convoluted stuff going on. On Friday, she was able to get the evidence from under Eva's bed at the hotel room. And now it seems as though her plan is to get the evidence back into Leslie's house so that she can be found with the evidence and hopefully Jacob can make that arrest. But the whole problem continues in that Kat, who for weeks and weeks now we have sat here and said, they've written her as such a smart character. But after these past few episodes, I just really more than that, this past week and a half of episodes or more, Kat's somehow both very smart and very dumb. And to go back to when she first found the jacket and the receipts that she thought that could all belong to Leslie, if you recall, when she brought it to Jacob, he basically told her, "Well, now all your fingerprints and evidence are all over these. So why now, if Kat is so smart, why now would she take the evidence when her DNA could be all over it again?" And sure, she had gloves on today, but I don't know. I don't recall her having gloves on when she first found the evidence on Friday. And regardless, still with the evidence moving everywhere now, I just feel like this is probably going to blow up in Kat's face, which is fine by me, but it just brings me back to I don't understand the writing for Kat. We've covered this last week. They've made her insufferable with her tunnel vision on Eva. She's supposed to be smart, but now she's making all these dumb decisions that don't make logical sense. And now it's probably all going to blow up in her face. So, as much as I can still be entertained by Kat and Leslie's scenes, the writing for Kat has taken quite the downward turn, and the story has just become very, very convoluted. Today, she went to Leslie before she set the evidence back up in Leslie's apartment to try and call a fake truce. Leslie was smart enough to not fall for that fake truce and instead ended up meeting with Tomas, who is still like the other characters are talking to a cardboard cutout because I still don't think Tomas is doing very good with the acting. I've seen comments online, luckily not in my comments, and we will go over your comments from the last Friday's episode here soon. But I've seen comments online, mostly Reddit, trying to say that the acting for Tomas is better. I don't see it. I am blinded, but I don't think it's improved at all. People have said, "Oh, he's definitely grown since the beginning." No, he still reads his lines in the most unenthusiastic way with no charisma. He is still definitely Mr. Roboto. And not even Leslie could get good scenes out of him today, in my opinion. Anyway, she tried to get Tomas to try and get Kat to back off. I don't really think that was going to work in the first place. She also tried to tell Tomas that back when Eva was working for Nicole, Eva used to come home all the time and talk about Tomas, and she thinks that Eva is the one for Tomas. I don't know what exactly Leslie was playing at with that because she always tells Eva that Eva shouldn't be with Tomas, and now she's telling Tomas that he should be with Eva. But who could ever understand what Leslie is doing? I suppose it's just her narcissistic way. She only cares about herself. She's trying to save her own ass here, but I don't really think it worked there. Anyway, Kat ended up going to Jacob to do this whole spiel that maybe Leslie took her evidence out because she knew the cops were going to come and investigate. So now Jacob should go back because she might have brought the evidence back. So yeah, this is Kat trying to set Leslie up. We'll see if it works, or we'll see if it blows up in Kat's face. I did enjoy Nicole going to see Eva today. These two have not been face to face since the day after the whole anniversary party. And it started very tense. Nicole was not happy that Eva had talked to Laura because Laura wanted some help on what some sort of program Eva was using to help Nicole. And thus they ended up meeting. It did turn into some good scenes though. I've always said that Nicole is the character that I thought would be the first Dupree to warm up to Eva again. And that is basically what happened today. It went so far as Nicole accepting Eva's apology. Uh, so that was nice for Eva. Eva needed some positivity. And I'm glad that at least one Dupree is just not insufferable with the whole we're the Duprees and all of that shit that Anita and Danny are always talking about. It's good to see that Nicole is a little more warm in that regard. Because all the shit I talk on here about Anita being so cold, and Danny has her ways about her too, as we all know. So I guess you can say Nicole is my favorite Dupree of the people that are actually Duprees and not Richardsons or Hamiltons for that matter. And speaking of Hamiltons, Bill's health, he had his mini stroke. And today we see the family kind of try and rally around him. Haley's, of course, very worried. Chelsea doesn't want to go in the room because Haley's in there. But Naomi and Chelsea do go in. Haley embraces Naomi. I enjoyed Chelsea rolling her eyes. Chelsea is kind of the realest one in that family. She's always giving hell to the right people at the right time. As slow as she can sometimes be, it is nice that yes, Ronnie, you were right in the chat. Martin did warm up to Eva first, correct. But Martin is not a Dupree. He's a Richardson. Although he should have been a Dupree because Anita and Vernon should be his parents. Anyway, the Bill stuff is another story I'm not enjoying. I said this last week that I don't want to see Bill in a weakened state. And I know this is what they're going for. They want us to kind of see that Bill is human or whatever, that he is vulnerable sometimes. I guess that's what they're going for. They say his recovery can take 6 to 8 months. Whenever this health story ends, I need Bill though to just become more ruthless. I don't want to see a nice Bill for too long. It just seems too early in the show's history for this kind of story for Bill. We haven't even gotten to see Bill in some hardcore predicaments that we could with the kind of character they built him up to be. So I just I don't understand why we're getting this health story 3 months into the show. I don't think it was a very good decision. Now, the whole twist with Dr. Madison Montgomery being Bill's doctor. Chelsea's they met just a few episodes ago, and Chelsea's really into her, almost borderline desperately into her. It is a better choice than her last throuple, I suppose. I don't really know why they're making Chelsea this way with this new potential coupling. I feel like it could take away from it all, but I don't hate it. I do enjoy the character of Madison so far. She is Bill's doctor. Chelsea kind of had this little moment in the room that Bill's going to listen to Dr. Montgomery because she knows best. It could be cute, and I could be for it. I don't know if I necessarily love it yet, but there is time for it to grow. I'm not going to sit here and talk about Derek and Andre and Derek and Jacob talking about Leslie. On one hand, it's good that they're trying to bring Derek and Ashley with more characters. They have needed to be with more characters and not in their own boring bubble. But it still didn't keep me from fast forwarding Derek today. Sorry. It's just, it hasn't worked on me yet. Maybe they'll keep trying and it will eventually work. I didn't touch upon Danny visiting Bill as well. Danny giving this whole speech that the whole family needs Bill, his children need Bill. Haley, of course, chiming in that her baby's on the way too, and they need Bill too. Uh, I don't know. Danny and Bill's relationship, we'll see how that continues to be built up. We're gonna have a moment by the end of the year, if not early next year, where Danny and Bill are in some sort of predicament. Will they hook up? Will they get back together? Will they? I don't know. It's gonna happen because Bill and Haley don't have chemistry and they can only do so much with those two going forward. So that is going to happen. And then to end the episode, to circle back to the first convoluted story that I'm not enjoying, Leslie did go to see Eva because she's worried about the helmet and gloves and worried that Kat keeps pushing Jacob. So she went to Eva to try and get them from her. Eva did not give them to her, but when Leslie leaves, Eva checks under the bed to realize that they're no longer there. Yeah, I mean, I just don't love this follow-up to the Leslie story. It's a convoluted story to get Leslie off the hook, which I'm fine with, but in doing so, they've really hurt the character of Kat to me, which she always had moments where she got on my nerves. But now it's gotten to the point where I need a break from her because she's kind of insufferable. So I hope they are able to fix that at some point. Let's go to your comments from Friday's episode. Please leave your opinions on today's episode in the comments or in the chat if you're in there right now. Roy, you didn't finish your statement. You said, if it appears BTG is, and then you stopped. So I don't know what you were saying. All right, here's the comments from Friday's episode. Shabritha Jennings said she's done with the show. They barely have likable characters outside of Eva and Leslie, and the writing for them has been poorly done. Characters have been dumbed down. It's not making any sense. Recaps for now unless they do better. Fair. I do agree that a lot of the characters have been dumbed down the past 2 weeks. Hemi says, I appreciate the rant. You pretty much said everything I've been thinking. Glad Vanessa finally found out about Doug's gambling. I can't stand Doug. He's weak and pathetic. I didn't like how he just got up and left Vanessa there to hash out the debt situation with Joey. He needs to man up. And honestly, Hemi, that was a good point. They have her and Doug to be super duper weak. As much as I have come to like Doug, honestly, he could use some growth, but there's time for that. So I'm not opposed to that happening. Mr. Days Fan 82 said, characters I can't stand. Ashley and Derek, Kat, Nicole's whiny ass, honey, you're no Dr. Marlena Evans, Anita, and Danny, mostly annoying AF, but can be hilarious when she flips out. Honestly, that's a pretty good top 5 outside of Nicole. I don't dislike Nicole, and like I said today, she's different from her mother and her siblings, so I can't hate on Nicole. But Ashley, Derek, and Kat are pretty insufferable. You all know how I feel about Anita. I won't call her the B word today. And I do like Danny, so I kind of disagree with Danny. Characters Mr. Days fan loves is Eva, Bill, Vanessa, Shanice, and Leslie. It's a pretty good list outside of Vanessa. She's a hypocrite. She could kick rocks. Ronald Dobbins said Tomas didn't kiss Eva because he remembered that assignment from Bill was to stay close to Kat to get information about his family. He obviously wanted to kiss Eva. The fact that Kat overheard him will make it easier for him to get information from her. It's a good point, Ronald. I do believe that it will work out in Tomas's favor. That he might be able to get this info from Kat, because they have done a good job of making us believe, despite the bad acting, that Tomas is all about his career right now. Miss Wilder says, think Vernon needs a storyline. That's why I think June should be his illegitimate daughter. No, I want June to be connected to, like, I still want it to be Haley. I still think Haley needs something more to do than just be with Bill all the time. Roy Faye Bridgman says, if it appears that BTG is so boring, why do you waste your time watching the show? I didn't say it was boring. That wasn't me. I was reading a comment. I am still entertained by Beyond the Gates. The writing cram for the past 2 weeks has sucked, and that's just a fact. Hate to break it to y'all. They could do a way better job with building these characters. It's become extremely plot driven the past 2 weeks, and in all of the wrong ways to do it. So if you're going to do a plot driven show, at least make the storylines more interesting. Because if you're going to ruin characters like they have ruined Kat, then why are you being so plot driven in the first place? This is not a good investigation story. It's like, I can't even compare it to Bold and the Beautiful because I don't watch it anymore, but it is giving like 2022 Bold and the Beautiful, where the storyline is both bad and inconsequential. And that's just not something that I think the show should be doing. But it's still a young show. There's still time to grow. And in fact, we know that they fired their co-head writer, who was still on the show during this writing, in Guza. So maybe we'll have some improvement when he's not the co-head writer anymore. Maybe he was the reason that it became so plot driven. And in fact, he probably is, because his General Hospital was nothing but plot driven. So there could be hope on the horizon. I don't like that it's so early in the show and we have to sit here and hope for a writing change to save the show. But I don't think the show necessarily needs saving. But the characters have been dumbed down. That's just a fact. Anyway, I will be back tomorrow. The rest of the week after that, though, will be tough, but we'll see how it goes.